ready for another lesson?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Back Row Banter, your favorite casual movie talk podcast. I am one of your hosts, Adam Schwartz, and on today's episode, we have two new show announcements in the news, two trailer talks, one movie I'm very excited for, one I will probably not watch. We'll get to that. The new streaming week this week is pretty weak, but, you know, there are things to watch, I guess.
Subjectively.
Speaking of things to watch, we'll get to what we're watching, and then our main review for the episode. No Time to Die. But before we get to any of that, I'm joined today, and as usual, with Nanobot Nathaniel Gingrich.
What up? I'm Nanobot Nathaniel.
Nanobot.
I just had a question to ask you. Oh yeah, what's your favorite Bond theme out of the Craig series?
What do you mean by theme?
Like, do you know how they all have opening like songs? You know, like this one's the Billie Eilish one, and then we had obviously the Adele Skyfall.
Skyfall is pretty iconic, I would say.
That's the one I feel like people remember the most.
Yeah, definitely, because I mean, it's been such a long time since I've seen Quantum of Solace and Casino Royale.
Jack White
that
one?
I couldn't even really tell you what songs.
Oh, dude, Casino Royale's that's the Chris Cornell, the You Know My Name. I love that one. That's a really? Easy number one.
I might recognize it when I hear it. I just couldn't tell you what it is.
No,
maybe.
Yeah. Nothing.
That doesn't ring a bell right now. But I'll tell you later whenever we watch Casino Royale.
I bet you know it.
Mine is Spectre.
You like the Spectre one, the Sam Smith?
Yeah, I'm a really big sucker for Sam.
Really? I feel like that's a dark horse pick. Like, not a lot of people would pick that one.
Yeah, his voice is something that I mesh with well.
For sure.
I do like Sam Smith, and I do agree with that Spectre pick. It's a good one.
Wow. I see. Really? I did not vibe with the Sam Smith one.
I think Skyfall still is pretty iconic, but
yeah, I actually don't mind the newest one. And No Time to Die.
I like Billie Eilish.
Yeah. I think most people are running with Skyfall for sure. Yeah. I'm mad I didn't get to pay attention to the Casino Royale one because I've got it up, but it's been on mute obviously since we're recording.
Nah, man, Casino Royale, that's the one for me.
Okay.
Totally fair.
Who else are we listening to here, Adam? Introduce us to our fellow co-host.
Tech guy Tyler Verdalis.
Guy in a chair.
In a van.
Would you be T? So like, because you know how in James Bond they're Q.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we could go with T?
T.
I mean, T's pretty good. That's us British.
I did think about giving you guys just letters.
But you're double O.
Yeah. Or maybe giving you some double O's.
How many double O's do you think there are?
I was just about to ask that. I don't know.
I feel like it's got to be less than 10, right?
All the double O's are licensed to kill, right?
That's I'm pretty sure that's what it is. My Bond history is not, or my Bond lore is not great.
No, me either. So if this pod's gonna be that's a full
that's like a whole can of worms
on this podcast. Yeah, I'm not the most versed.
The first answer on Google reads, in Fleming's books, there are only 5 00 agents, 006, 07, 08, 09, and 0011. Really? 2 of them are named 007. 2 of them are named, 007 is Bond, of course, and in Moonraker, there's mention of Agent 008 as a guy named Bill.
Okay. Be afraid of
Bond and Bill.
Yeah, Bond definitely won out on that one. Huh? What do you think? What do you think Bill's second name is? Is it like Bill, James, Bill? They're all named James.
His name's Will. Bill. Will. Bill.
Yeah, you have to have a B last name, and you have to have a James as your first name.
Well, what's Bill's drink?
Just a beer. Just that he's the pub one. Like of the British
like Stella.
Yeah, of the British, like the landed gentry, or the sophisticated gentlemen that the double O's are supposed to be. You got Bond, who's the martini guy, and then you got Bill, who's just down in ales at the local pub.
I like it. And rounding out the squadron, of course, is Big Ballistic BlakeHolder.
What up? What up?
Dealing with all that ballistic gear. I feel like I might have used ballistic at some other point.
It's
but
a good
I don't
one.
remember what movie that would be for.
Couldn't tell you.
Listeners,
I don't
write
know.
in. Let us
Who
know.
knows? I really don't feel like going back and checking. So
Yeah. Couldn't tell you. How you doing though, man?
man, I'm living. I'm alive, but
Yeah. alive and well.
alive and
as
sort
they
of
would say.
well. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I've gotten just hammered by sickness, and it won't stop. Apparently, this is like my third time being sick in a month. So I don't know what's wrong with me.
You turned 21.
It's
but-
college.
yeah.
Yeah, both-
Yeah,
both
that's
of
exactly
those.
what's wrong with you.
You're in a
Yeah.
cesspool.
Don't worry,
that's
man.
very true.
You'll come out with a heck of an immune system, though. Nothing will kill you
let's
for the
hope
next
so.
3 years.
Let's hope something good comes out of this. But yeah, my throat is like hella swollen. And I went to the doctor yesterday. She's like, "Oh yeah, it's a little red back there." I'm like, "A little red?" Dude, my like side of my throat is about a centimeter away from my uvula and it's a little red. Like, man. All right. But yeah, I mean, I'm already feeling a little bit better day by day.
Good.
Saturday was like when I felt bad. Sunday was probably the worst of it overall, and then yesterday I felt a little bit better, but still sore throat was hurting pretty bad. And then today sore throat was a little bit better. So I'm just hoping it's a steady progression to no sickness at all.
Which, listeners, that's why we are delayed a day here this week.
Yeah, I was not gonna be able to record yesterday. That would have been very, very painful.
We would've-
So thank you for your patience.
All good.
We
Glad you're
did
feeling
update
better,
you
man.
guys. Oh, thanks, dude. Thank
yeah,
you.
follow the
Hopefully
Twitter
I'll-
account.
Yeah, we did update you guys on Twitter. So if you're mad about us not uploading today/yesterday, depending on when you're listening to this, that's your fault for not following us on Twitter at Banter Row.
Damn.
So do that so you can stay updated. This is now actually I think our 4th week in a row.
Yeah, we've been on
releasing
Tuesdays.
Tuesday night or Wednesday
Yeah.
morning. So hey, at least we're getting them up.
Same
We haven't
bat
missed a week
chime,
yet.
same bat channel. Wow, I screwed that up.
It was all right. I like the effort.
Thanks.
Well, let's get into some news here, boys. Our
Tell me
first
about the
story
news.
of the week. WandaVision spinoff with Kathryn Hahn in the works at Disney Plus. This show will be following Kathryn Hahn's character of Agatha in WandaVision. Kind of like it feels like a follow-up show to WandaVision rather than a follow-up season. Basically, I don't know if they have anywhere else to go with that WandaVision story, and I think they'll just carry it out through the movies rather than doing another season of the show. If they're doing another one, if they end up doing another one, who knows? But or is it confirmed that they are? I actually really don't know. But
I haven't
think
heard
it is.
anything.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I'm pretty sure it's listed as a limited series too, which generally implies it's
Yeah.
only a season.
Yeah, it's currently TBD. So
For sure.
this will essentially, it seems like it'll serve as kind of like a follow-up season, following Kathryn Hahn's character, who we all loved from me, Tyler, and Nathaniel, who watched the show. I think we all kind of agreed she was a standout performance, and she even got nominated at the Emmys for it. But nothing really details on like what the story is going to be about besides that it's following her character. It will be written by the same writer as WandaVision, Jock Schaefer. So he will be heading that script. And no really plans on when this might release, but they've been actually pretty good about cranking these shows out with that new production
sure.
style and production way of production with that LCD screen and everything that they're doing. So I would expect it to be sooner than you might expect for a regular TV show like this. I would say maybe in like a year and a half if I'm feeling optimistic, but who knows? Maybe it's even sooner than that.
How did you react to this news? What were your thoughts?
I was content with how they ended that story in WandaVision. I felt like they ended off that character well, but I did love Kathryn Hahn's character. I did love Kathryn Hahn as that character.
Sure.
So I'm glad that we get to see more of her, but it's not like something I'm like was desperately asking for.
Yeah, I kind of felt like just like okay, like
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if I might be reaching kind of a breaking point with Marvel at the moment. Like they are just
Yeah.
announcing a ton
This-
of shit, and I'm just kind of like meh, you know.
This is one of those things that they need to be very careful with as far as the oversaturation, because now we're getting to the point where we're getting into characters that like almost nobody cares for, not necessarily cares for, but doesn't really know anything about.
Right.
And you've tied her into somebody that I do, but now the fact that you're going to go from a spinoff to another further spinoff is gonna, it might do a little more harm than good. And unless they're going to try and build her into one of the bigger characters for the overall Marvel universe, but I just don't see that happening.
Well, Adam's saying that it's got the same writers as WandaVision makes me think that this is almost just going to be like, this will be WandaVision season 2. Like those characters will go back to the movies, obviously, and this will be kind of almost a continuation there. And if that's okay, if that's the case, that I'm cool with that. Like I think we've said, I really enjoyed the Kathryn Hahn character in that show, and she's just oozes charisma and is infinitely watchable. But yeah, this news itself didn't make me go, oh, now I've got to make sure I'm here for this.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's exactly how I was kind of reacting to that. I mean, we'll see. Maybe they show a trailer that really surprises us. Maybe they bring in other characters that we already care about. That's not Wanda.
That's a good point.
Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'll show us a trailer, and I'll immediately be like, all right, yeah, I'm in for this. So that seems to be the rhythm recently.
Yeah, I can understand your. I can understand the fact that your concerns and the fact that you're reaching your fill with Marvel at this point and you think it might get oversaturated. But at the same time, Marvel still really hasn't missed for me in a long time.
That's a good point.
Or at least missed completely. So, as long as the quality is still there, maybe I might skip this. I might skip the things that I don't necessarily care about or don't affect the overall storyline, like the main storyline, if I don't feel like it. But at the same time, I'm still enjoying all this Marvel content. Like it's not like it's bad or I feel like I'm wasting my time with any of it. So
true,
it's still hidden. Well, we'll also have to see if Mike Flanagan's next show will hit as well, as he has gotten confirmed for the fall of the House of Usher.
Interesting.
It's greenlit at Netflix. This is going to be Mike Flanagan taking on Edgar Allan Poe's stories. It is not just one story, so it is going to be based off of the tale. I think it is just called The Fall of the House of Usher.
Yep.
But it is not. It's going to incorporate other Edgar Allan Poe short stories and tales.
That doesn't shock me.
Yes. Which I love. I mean, I haven't really seen anything of Mike Flanagan's. I know how much Blake and Nathaniel, you guys high praise him all the time and talk about him all the time. I don't know if either of you guys have seen Midnight Mass, but even some of my friends have come up to me and asked if I've seen it, and I haven't, and it's made me kind of want to watch it. But regardless, I love Edgar Allan Poe, and I love a lot of his works, and so I would be very excited. And this is one that actually I think I would definitely check out, like almost the day it comes out.
Yeah, I watched Midnight Mass. I think I talked about it on pod last week.
I think you did.
So.
That's my mistake.
Yeah. I love Midnight Mass. It was great. Highly recommend. Love Mike Flanagan. I didn't see what short story he was adapting for this, but Fall of the House of Usher definitely falls into his wheelhouse. Have you guys read it at all or anything?
I don't think I've read. I might have read that one, but I don't remember specifically.
Got it.
I have not.
I have not.
It's definitely going to fall into that like Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor territory with like that main story. I'll be interested to see what other ones they kind of adapt with that too. But yeah, I love Poe. I love Mike Flanagan. This is definitely, I think, a good matchup for him. Just kind of knowing his back catalog is like I do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Flanagan, so it'll be interesting to kind of see how his interpretation of kind of how he sees that. I definitely think that genre is certainly up his alley in terms of kind of like spooky ghost romance stories.
Yeah,
right.
Fall of the House of Usher is definitely more of a ghost story. That one of Poe's more ghost stories. He typically kind of does more of like the psychological, crime horror a lot of times too.
Sure.
Poe, but this is definitely more that gothic style. For sure.
Yeah, I think he'll knock it out the park, man. And then in terms of Midnight Mass, I'll get to that on what we're watching.
For sure.
But yeah, so
Cool. Yeah, this has just been approved. So, how much of the gap? I mean, there's not that much of a gap between Bly Manor and
No, it was like a
Midnight
year.
Mass. Yeah, about a year.
It's
So
he's had
from Hill House to Bly Manor, I think it was two years.
yeah, and
2 years,
Flanagan's been working with Netflix a lot. You know, he had Oculus was one of the first things I remember Netflix streaming pretty consistently, and then he did Gerald's Game, Hush, and then obviously Hill House, Bly Manor, and now Midnight Mass. So he seems to be able to do each one in about a year. And then he also threw in. You've seen Flanagan? He did Doctor Sleep.
That's right. Yeah, that would probably be the only thing I've seen of his.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely in on that one.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. Tyler, do anything for you?
No, I'm excited. I haven't really done a whole lot of research on that portion of it, but obviously I'm a fan, so
I've desperately been trying to get Tyler to do Hill House for years now. He's seen the first episode, but
yeah, I
it's
got
been
my
like a year.
No, it was a year before that too.
For years now.
It came out.
That's good. I'm glad Ty finally got to it. That's kind of one I've been talking to my dad about recently, and I think he finally got around to watching it. Or I think he's about like third or fourth episode in. But he says he really likes it. So yeah, that's definitely one you could recommend to most people. And like once you start watching it, though, you're like, oh, I'm in, man. That first episode's a home run.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, we can move on into trailer talk here. First up on the docket, let's get to the one I actually want to talk about, and I'm sure you guys want to talk about. It's going to be the new Scream trailer. Is it just called Scream, or is it going to be called Scream 5?
So I think the V that they're putting in the M might try and be like a little subtle 5 on there too, but that's also kind of typical Scream font too, so not really sure on that, but this is definitely the fifth installment in the Scream cinematic universe.
Yes, sir.
Scream-o-matic universe.
Scream-o-matic universe. Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Thank you for that one. No, that was good.
Nathaniel?
Okay.
I'll give you one of these. Little applause for the folks there at home. What was it that you said, Blake, there? I'm sorry.
I didn't hear the applause at all on my end, so.
That's all right.
I was saying, did one of you coin this Scream-o-matic universe?
Adam just did.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought Nathaniel were just said that.
No.
How dare I give him your credit, Adam? My apologies.
Oh, you're good. Anyway, Scream.
Scream 5, man.
Scream 5.
First one not directed by Wes Craven. I believe the Radio Silence guys are going to be doing that. They did a couple stuff with VHS, and then they've done a few things every now and then. I'm pretty sure the recent one they did was Ready or Not, which definitely feels like it falls into this a little bit too. I watched this trailer first thing this morning. I was all in right away. I've been pretty open in saying how much Scream influenced me and how much I love it. So yeah, Blake and I were talking about it a little bit before the podcast. If you've seen the trailer, the first portion of it seems to kind of mimic a lot of older Scream stuff, and I was kind of a little bit like, eh. But then as soon as the main cast showed up in the trailer, I was like, yeah, I'm back in. I'll be there first day one. Anyone else?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll certainly dive in. I like it. You know, for being now, we're probably 10 plus years, 11 plus years since Scream 4.
That was
2011. Don't quote me. 2011,
yeah.
2012, something like that. Definitely nice to kind of get back in there. I'll be curious to kind of see how they'll follow up with this stuff now that there's a Scream TV series that aired, right? So I think some people will still kind of have some of that knowledge and kind of information, right, kind of based off the MTV series. But yeah, man, I mean, they got the original cast in there. Neve Campbell, that was like the highlight when she appeared in the trailer. I was like, okay, I'm back in, I'm sold. I'll be really curious to see kind of what tropes and themes they pull out this time. Now that they're got 10 plus years of additional tropes and themes and jargon to pull from. So I think it'll be awesome, man. I'm on record saying the original Scream, the first one, is one of the better horror movies.
Bonafide classic.
Yeah. Two is pretty good. Three's not the greatest.
3's silly, but it's fun.
Yeah, and then I think they did well with 4 to be what, that's probably maybe 8 years later or something like that, 9 years later. from 3 to 4. So I think they did well reinventing it for themselves for 4. So I think they'll be able to reinvent themselves again for 5. So yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I'm jazzed. Sorry, go ahead, Ty. You look like you wanted to speak.
No, you're good. I was just saying, like, I've seen obviously the originals, but yeah, I think this is going to be pretty good. I'm excited for it. Ghostface is one of those iconic horror people that has been around the horror universe for quite some time, and I used to have a mask as a kid. I even had like
For
one of
sure.
those like knives, but it was like encased in plastic.
Yeah,
so
had
it
the
was, like,
blood on
fake
it.
blood in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I used to have that. So yeah, I'm a fan. I'm excited for it. I hope it's everything. And like you guys already kind of said, having the original cast kind of pop in there and have their little moments too and play into everything, I think is really cool. So excited.
Yeah. Adam, how do you feel just kind of briefly then about this? Because you haven't seen any of these, right?
Correct. I haven't seen a single Scream film, which I hope changes soon. Because this trailer, even as someone who hasn't seen Scream, I'm still like down. Even if this is like, if this was just not a Scream movie, like I'd still feel like this is a good trailer, and I like it's a good movie. Like I like the intro of this trailer where she's like the texting, and then it's like this isn't Amber.
Sure.
You know, that was like kind of cool little trick. Almost one of those things where it's like, I wish I didn't watch this trailer and just saw the movie. But anyway,
Yeah.
no, I liked it a lot. I will definitely get to at least one of the Scream films or whichever ones you guys recommend out of our how many there are.
All 4,
and-
baby. Just
All
hit 'em.
4?
Yeah, man.
We're at least getting the first one on pod, man. I'll die before we don't put that on here.
I'm not opposed. But yeah, I'm down for this for sure. Weird release date here of January 13th.
Yeah, that's one
2022.
thing I am just not in love with that.
Yeah, January is notoriously like a dump for movies.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm curious when Scream 4 came out. Does anyone remember the
It might have
time of
been
year that was?
same kind of timeline. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say it was early in the
Yeah.
year, maybe like a March or something like that. Maybe even like a
Scream 4
February.
released in April 15th of 2011.
Yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, you're about
It'll
right.
almost be
You're
a
about right,
decade.
Nathaniel.
Actually, it will be a decade. Almost
Yeah.
12 years or almost
Yeah.
11 years.
Obviously,
Definitely weird, not ideal for a horror movie, but I mean that franchise is big enough where like I think they're still gonna put people in theaters.
I think it
so.
also might have been a COVID thing too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
probably.
Yeah, I'll be
I'm sure they probably wanted this for a 1 year or a decade.
Yeah, 10
Yeah.
year. Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely going to be interesting seeing it. You know, not obviously first one not by Wes Craven as well.
Mhm.
R.I.P. the King.
Yeah.
But
And Screams are usually notoriously really good theater movies.
yeah, for sure.
You know, so
Yeah.
and obviously that's me saying that I've only seen the fourth one, in theater.
Yeah.
But even just like kind of from their premise and the things that go on, like that's an
Yeah.
ideal theater horror movie.
They're
you know?
horror. Yeah, they're horror movies that love the movies. So like,
Right,
you know,
right.
they go hand in hand. But yeah,
Cool.
Adam, tell
Yeah,
us
we're
more.
excited for that for sure. I'm sure. I mean, January. I don't know what other movies will be out by then, but I'm sure we'll get this on the review and maybe the first Scream or maybe 2 ahead of time.
Throw it on out there.
Yeah. I don't think we'll be reviewing this next trailer that we're talking about.
How dare
Uh,
you?
It's Home Sweet Home Alone.
Speaking of characters from previous films that
there
make
you
an
go.
appearance, we got Buzz, I believe his name is.
Yeah, from Jojo Rabbit.
Buzz McAllister.
Oh, is that who it is? Yeah, I noticed that. So we're talking about the Home Alone trailer, which if you haven't seen Disney Plus, but is that who that's supposed to be? Is Buzz McAllister?
McAllister?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his older brother Buzz.
Okay. Okay, I'm kind of in on that a little bit as a thought process.
your girlfriend Wolf.
But I'm not in at all for this movie.
No, I don't know why anybody would be.
Yeah, it seems to not have any heart in it. It feels like.
This doesn't. This shouldn't come as a surprising, or this shouldn't come as like a surprising statement. This feels like a Disney Channel original movie version of
It really
Home
does.
Alone.
It really does.
But it's like it shouldn't feel that way because it's Disney Plus. They have the option to up the production value. It shouldn't feel like a Disney Channel original movie.
But
it does.
They did a TV movie Home Alone of like a couple years ago too. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah, I remember. I kind of remember them doing that.
Yeah. I don't understand the thought process here. Like Home Alone is such an iconic like IP at this point. Like it feels like one that they would go balls to the wall with.
Yeah, I hoped they would have. When I saw that they were doing this remake, I was like, okay, fine.
Right.
Like I don't. This feels like it's gonna definitely taint almost a little bit the originals, which I hope it does not. But
I don't know about that. But
Maybe they just don't know.
maybe.
You know, maybe they don't know what kind of gold they're sitting on
Maybe
over
they
there
should- they
with
should-
Home Alone.
Maybe they should listen to the podcast. Disney, if you're listening, give us control of Home Alone.
You
And
fucking ruined it. You blew it.
well,
We're
yeah,
gonna turn it
Any of you
into-
guys,
we're gonna turn it into Scream 6.
there you go.
I'd say, have any of you guys seen the original Home Alone house? Because you know that's in Winnetka.
Oh no, I
is
haven't
Pretty
actually.
close
Yeah.
to where we are. Maybe 40 minutes or so.
I never
It is
have.
close.
Have any of you guys seen it?
I
Sounds
have.
like a no. Okay, Ty has. Adam, Nathaniel?
No, not for me.
I've not gone seen it, no.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another cool, like, Christmas, December type thing to do. Right? If you really got friends, family.
In the
date.
Chicagoland area.
Yep. Definitely. Just north of Chicago, Winnetka. I mean, you're probably 15 miles north of Chicago,
Nice.
20 miles north of Chicago. So
I was just thinking, what two drastically different home invasion trailers we just watched?
That's a great
Like, they're
point.
yeah, I don't know. I have no plans on watching this. This comes out November 12th.
November 12th.
2021 this year. Yeah, not the 22nd as I said pre-pod, but November 12th. I don't plan on watching this. This does not look like anything I want to spend my time on. Nathaniel, you said you might throw it up at one point.
Yeah,
potentially?
this feels like a kind of family, get together time. Just kind of an innocent movie to throw up there or something like that. Maybe you got a big group of people togetber, but if it's
Grow
really
up is right.
if it really sucks, watch 5 minutes and then put on the original. I'm pretty sure that's on Disney
that's
Plus
the
too.
correct answer.
But yeah,
Or just throw on the original right away.
we'll see. Anything can
5
be
minutes.
good, right? Hopefully.
No, that's very true.
Sunday hangover.
Yeah, there you go. What is that? Blackout Wednesday. Then you get your post Thanksgiving meal. You don't want to watch football because you're afraid it's gonna
Oh,
piss off
you watch
someone.
guess,
Prisoners. That's time for Prisoners.
No, Prisoners the day
off
after.
the hangover. Oh man.
Do you work at Best Buy, so you're stressed out for a month?
Yeah, good point.
That got a little too real for me right there, Ty.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, man, I'm not interested in a new Home Alone. I don't know. I don't even know who asked for this, as we always say.
Well, if you are, write in.
Yeah. If not, keep it pushing. Just watch the original. It's a classic, and there's a long list of other Christmas classic movies. Not Halloween. That's just kind of where my brain is, listeners, as you can see.
Halloween too.
I'm full Halloween mode.
All right, well, let's keep it pushing to Adam Schwartz's completely subjective news streaming list for the week of October 10th through the 16th. To Netflix, we're getting The Forgotten Battle. This is a Netflix original documentary featuring, or I guess actually sorry, I shouldn't say it's a documentary. It's a Dutch war drama set during the crucial World War II battle, the Battle of the Scheldt. One I'm not too familiar with as a big fan of like World War II history, but seems like I don't know. It was a weak list, and I saw this. I was like, that seems kind of cool. So if you want to maybe throw it back to a little historical pick, you got that there. We're also getting You season 3. Tyler, have you seen You?
I have.
Have you seen both seasons? Are you gonna watch the third?
I will.
Yeah, I think I might as well.
Yeah,
It's
Leah
been
and I
like 2
are pretty
years.
excited for it. So
Did you say you and Leah are?
yeah,
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good show. I
You
like
guys
it.
liked season 2?
yeah.
Season 2 got a little wild.
Hey,
I
man.
might I did like it overall.
Okay.
Did you not like season 2?
At some point, all these TV shows get to this like really absurd moment, and you're like, how much further is this going to go?
Sure.
And then it kind of like gets to that point, and you're like, okay, well, I'm not like totally mad at it. You like, that's where you make your decision. You're like, you're either that's
Right.
way too much, I didn't get it, or
Yeah.
so I think we're gonna see that point at this season, and we're gonna see how far this is actually gonna go. So I really won't be able to judge because I don't know how much further they're willing to take it. I got to see the climax before I make a decision.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to kind of see how season 3 goes. I don't know if I'll tune into it. I didn't really care too much for season 2, despite having the woman from Haunted Hill House. I can't think of her name. But she's a really good actress as well. But yeah, I don't know. The first season I thought was phenomenal, though. I thought it was really good. I haven't really seen anything like that. And it was just really cool to kind of see like the brain of somebody who operates like that, and just kind of seeing like a woman's perspective on stuff. Especially that, like watching that with a partner. But yeah, so we'll see where season 3 goes. I'm not the most excited for it, but obviously it's got a huge fan base now. So
yeah, it definitely.
I think a lot of people will tune into it.
Or you think you're gonna check it out regardless of what people say about it? Or are you gonna wait to see what the kind of the consensus is?
I think I'll wait on it. Yeah.
Okay.
If you guys tell me it's good, then I'll probably dive into it. But if not, I think I can just live with season 1 and 2.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, that's it for actually. But Nathaniel, have you seen these?
I have not gone in on you actually, so it just didn't really ever appeal to me. Yeah, it never really appealed to me too much. I have heard a lot of positive things, but we'll see. I'm not into. Well, I have a hard time with shows that are relentlessly depressing sometimes. So I don't know if that one falls into there, but just knowing kind of the point of view character, it just didn't seem like something that was super exciting for me. But we'll see. Who knows? It may be a rainy Saturday or something. I decide to go in on it at some point, but I have heard good things.
Yeah, it's pretty good overall, I would say. But I don't know if it's necessarily like a must watch or something I could recommend to everybody. That's it for Netflix. Amazon Prime is getting I Know What You Did Last Summer Season 1. They have turned it into an Amazon original series. Blake, if you're nodding your head like you've heard of this or you know what you're expecting here.
Yeah, well, I've heard of it. I'm actually a pretty big fan of the first 2 movies of I Know What You Did Last Summer and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Haven't seen the third one. It's kind of like a supernatural, cheesy gimmick. I don't even think it's done by the same people. I'm not too interested on a TV series of this, but also I'm not the most outspoken on TV series. So maybe we need to find another horror gentleman who's big into TV series. But yeah, I'll probably pass on that. I'm curious of like what the budget and things of this would look like in terms of like how much they're really putting into it, or how much the original creators of the trilogy, or I guess I should say the first 2 movies, are involved in this. That'll probably be kind of enough to sway if it'll be good or bad, but I haven't done enough of that research. Just from my brief knowledge, I would say I'm probably out on this.
Well, the original movie, if I'm not mistaken, was written by the same guy who wrote Scream, Kevin Williamson.
Yes, you are correct.
So that would be a little tie-in from earlier as well.
Is he the director of I Know What You Did Last Summer? I think he is.
He might be, yeah.
I think the director is one of the writers from Scream, if I remember doing the research on that, because it's very similar kind of teen horror. I think you're on to something, Nathaniel.
Looks like it is Jim Gillespie is the director. So that would not be Kevin Williamson, but he did do the screenplay. So some crossover there. But yeah, I haven't seen the original movies. I saw the TV series advertised a couple times. It just doesn't look like it is I'm not the target demographic of that anymore. It definitely feels like it's much more like a teen version of this at this point, which is, what the original was too. So that's fitting.
Yeah.
Sure.
Interesting to me though, because it's like I don't know how many teens are aware of those movies.
Yeah, I don't think.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like.
I agree with you. Yeah, I don't think there would be very many of them at all. I think if anything, they would be trying to target like our generation, you know.
Yeah,
but
right.
maybe they're thinking that, you know, guys with kids or something like that, or it's kind of that time. They must feel like they've got enough of an audience nowadays. Who knows? It's Amazon too. They might
That,
just
or
be
they're
buying.
just trying to introduce it to the new generation.
Right. Yeah.
Sure. On a side kind of tangent of that, and I was watching something the other day. It might have been the Monday Night Football game. And there was a fucking like commercial preview type thing for a Chucky TV series. Have any of you guys seen that?
Oh, maybe did I hear about like Sci-Fi having that or something like that?
Yeah, I'm like, this looks horrible. I don't know who greenlit
I mean, Chucky is one of those things with those huge cult followings, though, where they'll kind of follow it wherever
Massive
it
cult
goes.
following,
Yeah. I mean, did you see, is it got the same kind of, is it still like Jennifer Tilly and Brad Dourif and everything, or are they like rebooting it completely?
I think it's just completely rebooted. I don't know. I just kind of looked at it and I was like, I can't believe. Like, I was so surprised when that came across the screen.
Well, they just did
like, oh my god.
They did the reboot of the movie not too long ago too.
Yeah, that might have been
Last year?
2019 or something. 18.
I heard that movie was not very good too.
It's got Aubrey Plaza, Brian Tyree Henry's in that as well.
Did you watch it?
Friend of the pod. I did.
How was it?
It's shit, but that's kind of expected.
It does look like it is Brad Dourif, who's the voice of Chucky quite often. But
okay, yeah, that was just a side note if anyone's seen that, because I was like super surprised.
On IMDb, it has 60 ratings, and it is sitting at a 9.0 out of 10.
Huh?
But it came out today.
Okay. Yeah. Very skewed data.
Yeah,
so
take that with a grain of salt. But who knows? Maybe it's good. Anything could be good.
Okay.
Theme of the episode, I guess.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong, ladies and gentlemen.
Adam, tell me more about your completely subjective streaming list.
That's it for Amazon Prime. Hulu is getting G.I. Joe Retaliation from 2013. That's the only thing they're getting there. HBO Max is getting It Chapter 2, one I haven't seen, but now that's coming available to a good streaming service. I've seen the first one, I just haven't seen Chapter 2 yet.
Okay.
2 I like.
You're like the ideal age group to see the first and second one, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. So that'll probably want to be like one of the horror movies I watch for Halloween or around Halloween time.
2, I feel like
that's good for sure.
The second one I feel like is much stranger than the first one. I like it a lot though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
seeing the second one all the way through.
Oh really?
Really, Ty? Surprising.
Yeah. And I'll probably get around to it, like Adam said, around this time, because I actually really like those. I like the original. I like the newer one that just came out, and I have a feeling I'll be a fan of the Chapter 2.
I love the book.
Yeah. I think I have both of them on Vudu or something, and I think they're both on HBO Max for that matter. So, just surprising. I would could have sworn Anna would see those. That seems like that'd be like
My
the
area of
introduction to horror. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
A few years back, that was a massive movie.
Yeah, like I said, I've seen the first one. I'll get around to the second one. I wanted to go see it in theaters, and then I didn't for whatever reason, and then it just never really came to a streaming service I had available.
Yeah.
Actually, it was on HBO Max at one point, but it wasn't like, I was never in the mood to go and watch it. So.
Sure.
But now that's Halloween.
It's long though.
That's the other thing too. So, HBO Max also getting Point Break 91, the original, not the remake from like 2016.
That was like all the surfers like trying to like.
Isn't it more of like a?
That was a heist movie. Could be wrong.
Is Ty here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Point Break.
Sorry.
You like Point Break, don't you?
Yeah, Point Break's not bad. I don't know if I've seen the whole of the newer one that came out.
New one's bad. It's not good.
Yeah, which is why I don't think I ever finished it. And I always made fun of Justin and like Foley because they were always like, "Yeah, let's go see it." And I was like, "Oh yeah." I call it Breaking Point instead of Point Break, and they get really mad at me. But yeah, I love the original. Keanu Reeves, baby.
Utah.
That is
two.
Keanu Reeves. I forgot about that.
And Patrick Swayze. The Schways.
Footloose.
Schways. Well, that's it for HBO Max. And Disney Plus is not getting anything good. So that'll complete your list for the week. We can move on into the what we're watching segment here. I'll kick it off with
Yes, sir.
Mr. Tyler, Tech Guy Vidalis.
What have I been watching? Well, it's not a long list, that's for sure. So still cruising around on Manifest. I think we're about halfway through the second season, so hopefully we keep cruising along there. I'm still not mad at it. Still not like 110%. Like, you got to go out of your way and watch this. If you already started it, keep watching. Other than that, it's still pretty good. I got to a couple more episodes of that anime I was talking about last week, Tower of God. Still fine. Still trying to find like the overall purpose of this show. But
is that on Netflix?
Sorry?
Is that on Netflix?
I think it's on HBO.
Okay.
Yeah. I got to a long time watch for me that just keeps coming out with new stuff, which I'm totally fine with, but it's not like season by season where everyone's like, oh my God, I got to catch up. I got to see what's happening.
Sure.
It's called Meat Eater. It's about hunting. So that was really cool. One of the last episodes I had watched had Luke Combs on, which is one of my all-time favorite country singers. So that was pretty cool. And then I did, in fact, start Squid Games.
Oh,
what do you think?
I'm in.
How many episodes in are you?
I think I'm on the 5th.
Okay.
So right in the middle of Tug of War.
Yes. Okay.
Is the name of the episode? I think.
Yes. You doing the dubs? You were saying?
Yeah, I am doing the dubs.
Okay.
how do you like the dubs?
I don't mind them. I've watched so many dubs and subs over the years that I know a lot of the reason people don't like them. In this particular case, you don't catch this too much with anime, but the mouths obviously don't match up with what's being said, which I've gotten over a long time ago, just because I'm totally fine with it. So other than that, everything that I've either heard or read here and there, it's a pretty good overall translation and representation of what the show is. So I decided to just go with the dubs.
Do you have the subtitles on while you're watching?
I do not.
Okay, because that's something, Nathaniel, you mentioned last week, how you were disappointed in the sub and then their translations in the subtitles.
Correct.
I watched it in the dub with the subtitles, and I think the combo, that's kind of the best way to do it as of now, if the sub translation isn't good, because I was able to get that dub translation, but also reading the subtitles, they were different than what was being said. So between the two, I got all the information I needed.
Sure.
From both like the original meeting of the Korean as well as how they decided to dub it, because they very often were not right. I would say more often than not, they were not actually matching what was being said and what the subtitles were saying. But between the two, you can kind of piece it together, and you got everything you needed to. So if you're having any issues, Ty, or listeners that are having issues with watching the dub, maybe throw on the subtitles, see how you like it, see if you're getting the information that you feel like you might be missing.
Well, since I started it this way, I'll have to finish it that way.
Okay,
that's
fair
just
enough.
I can't. You're a mild psychopath if you changed in between. Nathaniel, I know what you did.
This will be real fun during my what we're watching.
So yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, that's all I got. Sorry, we all kind of started talking about the Squid Game, so I kind of thought that I forgot it was kind of my turn still. But yeah, that's it. Other than 007.
Cool. Well, popcorn. So,
Blake, why don't you tell us about your popcorn?
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll jump into it. So, as you guys knew, I said last time, I kind of did it last October as well. Listeners, remember, I'm trying to go different sub-genre each week for horror movies. So this week I did found footage. As I mentioned last episode, there's a new VHS 94.
What's that on?
Subscribed to Shudder.
Shudder. Okay.
Yeah. So there's subscribe to that, $5 a month. I think you get the first 7 days free, so I can cancel before then. So if any of you guys want to watch that, I'm sure Nathaniel might want to watch it. I can pass you the Shutter login. You can get a look at that. So I watched VHS 94. For those of you who don't know, found footage horror movie, it's an anthology series, right? So it's many stories, right? There's usually about 3 or 4 of them per movie.
Sure.
There's usually some type of tie-in plot, and then these people usually find these tapes, plug them in, and that's how you end up viewing the movie.
Right.
I actually like this one, man. Definitely better than the third one.
Okay.
The third VHS is horrible.
Yeah, because the first two are kind of like, they're like cult classics for sure, I think, at this point.
Yeah, definitely. I think the second one might be the best one overall. The first one's definitely a cult classic because the first short in the first movie is like, if you've ever seen VHS, you're like hooked off the first short of the first movie.
It's wild.
Yeah, dude, I remember watching that. I think it might have been in college, and I was just like, dude, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like VHS 94, man. Obviously, 94 stands for 1994. So it's shot really grainy. Like they did a really good job on that aspect where it really looks like you're watching something that's on a VHS like from the 90s. Right? So like it's really grainy. You can kind of see like people's attire and everything. Yeah. It definitely took me back to like sitting on the floor being a little kid, right? Like watching movies.
That's like the scariest scene in Signs too. Is the bit that's on the video camera as well. I think there's something about like that camera style to our generation, just like we know that reminds us of being a little kid and stuff too. That always just makes stuff scarier.
Yeah. So they did that really well in this. So yeah, I really liked it. There's I think there's 4 shorts in this one. I think the first short and probably the third short are probably the best. I think it's the third one. But they've got some good elements in there. There's like some body horror involved, vampires, some type of worshipping a higher power. They're really good shorts. I think anybody who's into horror would at least get a kick out of one of the shorts, right? That's kind of the premise. As long as you like one of them, you'll take it away. Right. VHS in general is when it hits, they're really, really high, and some of the shorts are incredibly forgettable. Usually all directed by different people. So I know Nathaniel said, I forgot what I caught you though, but you said somebody who originally did work on the original VHS. I think they're working on the Scream, right?
Yeah. There are a couple of directors, and they were like a group, and they went by the name Radio Silence for a while. But I think since the Ready or Not, they may have been going by their actual names now.
Sure. Okay.
But yeah,
do you remember what short they did in the first VHS?
I want to say it might have been the first one.
Okay.
I want to say something in there. Yeah, I can look it up, but
yeah,
for sure.
Cool. But yeah, so I got to that. Sticking with that theme, I watched Quarantine, 2008. That's the American adaptation for Rec, short for recording.
Have you seen that?
I have not, dude, and I've seen Quarantine twice, and I haven't seen Rec yet. I know what it is. And everyone says I think Rec came out maybe a year before Quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a found footage horror movie for anybody who doesn't know. Kind of, I don't know, what do you guess? Zombie vampire-esque? I don't know. What do you
zombie
call it?
Zombie virus kind of thing.
Right. And the kind of premise of that, there's these people, they're quarantined in this like apartment building condo type thing, where the news broadcast comes in. They kind of go in there to kind of get some news, see what's going on, as you could imagine how America works, and shit goes completely wrong, and they're stuck there and they're quarantined there, and this virus thing just implodes within this apartment complex. So pretty interesting. It's actually not too bad. It's usually common knowledge, right, that most people think Rec is the better film.
Right.
I haven't seen that. Have any of you guys seen Quarantine or Rec?
I've seen bits of Quarantine. I haven't seen Rec.
Okay.
By the way, the Radio Silence did the last segment in the first VHS one, which is where they go to the wrong haunted house party.
Oh yeah, that one's pretty good.
Yeah, I like that one too. So yeah.
Definitely with you on that. So yeah, end up getting to Quarantine. So that's pretty good, and that's directed by. Let me see if I can get you the director.
Yeah, I heard that's pretty decent though. Yeah.
No, it's actually not bad, dude.
Yeah.
Really not bad. Kind of hits home now, obviously, with where we're at in society.
Sure.
That's directed by John Doidle, who's also did As Above, So Below.
Oh yeah.
Film.
John Eric Dowdle. He also did Poughkeepsie Tapes too. I did that one last year. That's a crazy.
I almost clicked that one, man. It was on Prime.
Dude,
I almost clicked it and I thought of you, but then I was like, I don't know if I want to watch that one right now.
If you're into like dark, scary horror, that's a good one for you.
Okay. So yeah, I think this guy's he's big on the found footage. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of that one.
I think
another movie I got to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just want to check. I want to see if he did The Bay as well, which is another found footage one. That I saw last year. No, that was Barry Levinson.
I thought for a second there, I thought of the beach with Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, not that one. But no, that's also a really good found footage movie. If you guys have never checked that one out, The Bay.
Yeah, I don't think I have.
Yeah, that one's a cool
one. Watch list. Okay, well yeah. While you're digging up on that, another film I got to. Not necessarily found footage, but just wanted to get to it because it was something new and it involved my man Jake Gyllenhaal. So I got to The Guilty on Netflix.
Ooh, Leah and I were thinking about this very hard the other night.
I have not seen this yet.
Not bad, fellas. So starring Jake Gyllenhaal, right? It's definitely one of those films. So kind of the premise of that is he's basically intaking calls for 911. He gets a very disturbing call, and the entire movie takes place pretty much like with the camera on his face. There's other characters involved who are in the call center as well, and then they get very, 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 very minimal screen time. The majority of the screen time is just Jake Gyllenhaal sitting at a desk, but he's a great actor, so I think he can pull it off, and it's pretty good, man. Not great. Usually, as you could imagine with movies of that nature, it's really easy for the tension to be up and down, up and down, up and down.
Sure.
But when the tension's rolling, it's good, man. So I certainly like it. I'm a huge fan of Jake Gyllenhaal. The director on that is going to be
Antoine
definitely going to
Fuqua.
mispronounce his last name.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce it? Is it Fuqua?
Fuqua, yeah, or at least that's all how I've always done. I'm sure there's a correct pronunciation.
Okay,
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, but he's awesome. I like him a lot.
Yeah, so Antoine Fuqua's done Training Day. He's done Equalizer. He's done the second Equalizer. He's done Shooter.
Yeah.
So he's a big Denzel Washington fan.
Yeah. He's done Southpaw. That's got Jake Gyllenhaal as well. He did the Magnificent Seven.
Yeah, I liked that.
Denzel Washington again, to your point. So
and it's written screenplay I'm looking here is by Nick Pizzolatto, who he wrote he's written all of True Detective. And it looks like it might be based off.
When did you guys watch that? Right, True Detective.
Yeah, I love True Detective. Big fan.
Okay.
Yeah, I watched the first season's incredible.
Yeah, first season.
The other two, yeah.
Then yeah, that's on Netflix, listeners, and for the Squadron. So yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty short at one time though, only like an hour and like 30 something minutes, as you could imagine. Just Jake Gyllenhaal on screen, so definitely digestible in one sitting. But yeah, pretty good for a late night movie. So if Tyler, if you and Carolee want to watch it, I think you guys will get a kick out of it, man. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm down. We watched the trailer and we thought it was pretty good. So we'll definitely probably get around to it.
Yeah, I think she'll be fine. Not super gory, so I think you guys will enjoy it. That's kind of the gist I had. Then obviously got to the newest 00. But yeah. That's what I got. Let's popcorn. Let's go, Nathaniel.
Yeah, so I'll kick it off. I also I finished Squid Games. And as Tyler alluded to, I actually watched the first 6 episodes in the dub with the Korean subtitles, and then I watched the last 3 in the Korean with the English subtitles.
So you finished it?
I did. Yes, I'm done.
Last bit you might not.
Yeah, I had some time yesterday, and I just kind of felt like I was in the mood, and you know what? It finished strongly, so I will give it credit with that. I was pretty concerned about it, I would say, post episode 6, but I think they pulled it out in the end overall, and I think it's a pretty satisfying watch. So I can definitely see where people are getting behind it and everything, but it's good. Let's see, what else did I get to? Kind of like I was talking to a little bit pre-pod about. We're getting pretty deep into Adventure Time now, and some of the storylines are actually starting. It's becoming a lot more character based and a lot more character growth based, rather than just kind of like these episodic little adventures, and that's really making it a lot more interesting and a lot more rewarding for me. So I'm really enjoying that recently. We finished Ted Lasso. I think. Did we talk about that last week? Was last week when the last episode came out, or was that this past Friday?
Week. No, it was just this last Friday when the season ended.
Okay. So yeah, I watched that. Obviously, I won't go into kind of spoilers or anything, but I really felt like I really feel like season 2 built really strongly on season 1. I know kind of like some people's feelings have been pretty mixed, but for me, just from like a writing standpoint and like a watching the craft standpoint going in there, I really feel like they did a lot of stuff that was really, really, really well done. So definitely my pick for kind of best writing so far I've seen in 2021 maybe. Which also brings me to What If finished as well. That was also this week too, right, guys? I'm not just mixing up my weeks here.
Yeah, you're good.
So What If finished this week. I didn't. Now looking back on the series, I didn't love it overall. I'm gonna say, I think especially coming off Star Wars Visions, which is just like what I think What If should have been in the end of it all. I just feel a little bit disappointed, a little bit hamstrung by that. We also got to Army of Darkness this week. Finally finished up the Evil Dead series. Really awesome.
Are you going to do the remake?
I think I will for sure.
Okay.
At some point. I don't know if I can force Waz into watching it. He doesn't do great with gore. I don't think he wants to watch the remake. Yeah. So we'll see. But yeah, I definitely love that one. I'll definitely get to it. But we're getting ready to start the show here soon. So that'll be cool. And then I also got to another kind of horror film that we've talked about recently, or at least I think, Blake, you said. I got to Freaky as well with Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn?
Yeah.
How'd you like it?
Yeah, it's enjoyable.
Sure.
I really liked the Happy Death Days, and I believe this is the same kind of writer, if not the same director. I want to say it's definitely the same tone. And it was enjoyable. It's definitely not something that's going to scare your socks off or anything like that. It's much more a like comedy set in horror genre for sure. But it was a nice easy watch. Pretty short, not too long. So definitely, I would say if you got an evening free and you want to watch something that's horror for kind of Halloween or a little bit spooky, but you don't want to be scared too much or you're a baby, then check out Freaky.
Definitely. I'd agree with that.
But yeah, other than that, I got to some time left to die, or there's no time left, and that was it.
Whatever it's called,
yeah.
Whatever they're calling it these days.
But yeah, Adam, I'll kick it over to you to finish us off.
Yeah, got a decent list this week. I also finished Squid Game.
I
actually really enjoyed it overall. As those final episodes came, I kind of expected it to maybe fall flat, and they weren't as good and as gripping as the first like 3 or 4 episodes. Sure. But that's just gonna happen. But I feel like it did, as a full season, keep my attention each episode more than a lot of those shows typically do.
I agree.
Feel like with most shows like that kind of get popular or grip you right away, the first 2, 3, 4 episodes can do that really, really well, but then they typically fall off in that second half of the season. This one for me was very steady throughout, so props to them for keeping that gripping. I don't know what they'll do with season 2.
I don't think they will. I hope they don't.
You don't think they will?
I hope they leave it. But
I think they will. I think they set it up for one. I think the success of this will mean that they know people will watch a second season.
I'll tell you what
we'll
it did.
see.
It did make me
I
want to
also
do.
hope they don't.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What were you saying?
I said I'll tell you what it did make me want to do is go watch a lot more Korean stuff. Like their acting's awesome, and I really enjoyed that. What was that you said, Blake?
Train to Busan.
Oh yeah, Train to Busan's great too. Parasite, like all that stuff. I've just been really into a lot of that recently. But I'm sorry, Adam. Continue your thoughts.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, my bad, Adam.
No, I also hope they don't do a second season. I would have been very content if they wrapped a little bow and just had it as a 1-season thing.
Oh, I see what you did there, Bo. There's a lot of bows in Squid Game.
It almost feels like they changed the ending last minute.
I think they did.
I think so too, because I don't know what they'll do with the second season, but we'll see. I might watch one if it comes out, but I don't know. But overall, I'm very content with this first season. Liked it a lot, and definitely do recommend it for pretty much anybody. Also got to What If, kind of with you, Nathaniel. Overall, didn't enjoy the show that much. There were more episodes I didn't like than I did like. But I still had fun with it overall, and I did like Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher and everything like that. And
I'm with you. Oh, this is the time, viewers, when my Discord decides to restart. So we've reached that point in the episode. So this is just me talking to you. Looks like the boys are back now.
Hello.
So yeah, don't worry.
Anyway.
I filled there for you.
Cool. But yeah, a lot of episodes, more episodes I didn't like than did like, but the ones I did like, I really liked, and the ones I didn't like, I almost like really didn't like them.
I'd be with you there.
Yeah. So it was a fine show. I don't know if they'll do a second season of it. I don't know if I really want them to do a second season of it, and if they did, I hope they kind of change how they do it, or at least change kind of the stories they decide to tell with it. What else here? We got to Dave finish season 1 and season 2. A lot of Dave.
What do you think, man?
You know, they're two very different seasons, and they feel like two different. They don't feel like two different shows story-wise because it's a continuous story, obviously. And the second season still has some comedy in there, but it's not the same level of comedy that the first season is, because you could definitely tell that's what they were going for. Second season turns into a lot more of a drama almost. And I didn't mind it. It's just a different show, but it's still good. And I still care about those characters enough where like I was invested. And overall, I liked it. And I don't. If you watch that show for the comedy, Blake, I don't know if you love it. But if you have enough of a commitment to that show, or at least like the characters and like the story enough, or like Little Dicky enough to maybe watch the second season, I think it'd be worth finishing, because there are still some good jokes in there.
Sure.
But it's just like very different tone, a lot more serious topics than the first season kind of dealt with. But I still enjoyed it for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I might take you up on that and try to finish that. I think I got to the first 3 episodes of season 2.
Okay.
So how many episodes are there? Probably 8 or something like that.
It's either 8 or 10. I want to say it's 10.
Okay. So
10
yeah,
sounds right.
I'll see if I can get to finishing that.
Yeah, I think you'd still like it. It just don't expect the same level and the same amount of comedy as the first season. Yeah,
Gotcha.
If you can kind of alter your expectations and maybe look at it more like in Atlanta, which I heard kind of the same thing happens, where it's like comedy, but then it goes more serious.
Very.
I think you might be like a little bit more than you did on your first impression.
Okay.
Watch the latest episode of What We Do in the Shadows. Season 3 is still going strong. Still liking what it's doing there. And then last thing I got to, which no one else mentioned, was F1 race in Turkey, Turkish Grand Prix.
Yeah, I did
Anyone
forget
else?
to mention that.
Yeah, great race.
Yeah, it gets sometimes those races can either be really exciting or some can be pretty boring. This one was actually kind of in the middle for me. The front end was very lackluster, but obviously that's what happens when you get out front sometimes and get that kind of gap between you and the pack. But I think there were some really, really fun battles that were happening throughout the midfield and even towards the upper portion of the grid. But yeah, overall, I thought it was great. I don't think I'll ever watch a race that I don't like.
Yeah, I know they've all been fun so far. Yeah, this one was weird. The conditions were kind of weird, but it wasn't quite raining, but the track wasn't dry and the track was still very wet, so they couldn't really change tires to the dry tires or anything like that. So a lot of strategy came into play, especially towards the end of the race. But it was a good one. Like you said, some good battles, some good defending from Checo and a few other drivers, and your boy.
Yeah, that battle between Hamilton and Checo was just
awesome.
Phenomenal.
That was awesome.
Yeah. I was like standing.
Yeah, no, that was great to watch. But then Verstappen taking second, getting what's a 6-point lead on Hamilton.
Yeah.
Still a slim margin. Still can swing in one.
Oh
race.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
but the crazy part is one of those two could end up like not in the points at any given moment, and the other one could be at the top of the end, and it's just there's a huge gap that can develop at any given moment.
Yeah, it takes like one retirement, and it's a completely different drivers.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
but that's part of the game. It's really cool. But yeah, like you said, this is definitely more one of those strategy races that we get to see, and the communication that needs to happen between the driver and the teams. And you get, Hamilton, who had a unfortunate series of communication events with his team, and you get Esteban Ocon, who decides to stick with the same set of wheels through all out 58 laps.
3 laps.
Yeah. So it was cool. It's a good race.
And we got Austin this weekend, right? I don't think they're taking a break. Thank God. I hate when they take breaks. But yeah, that's it for my list. Of course, I also got 2 No Time to Die.
And before we jump into that, sorry to cut you off. You brought up Train to Busan. Nathaniel, I think you said we just thought of Korean movies. 2 things I forgot to mention. I end up going to the Chills and Thrills or Frights and Thrills at AMC. So for listeners and kind of for the rest of the group, AMC every Wednesday and Friday at 7 p.m. they're doing a random showing of a horror movie. Well, I guess it's not random. You just don't know what you're purchasing. So we all have a list, so it's included in that. So I end up going Wednesday and Friday. Friday was the 8th. Friday was the 8th, and then I also went Wednesday the 6th. And the movie on Wednesday was Train to Busan,
which has a character that or an actor that shows up in Squid Game, actually.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
The main guy.
Which person?
The main character, actually, the father.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I like him. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's really great.
So, that was definitely a pleasant surprise to see that. I watched it for the first time. I talked about it on podcast maybe a few months ago.
Yeah.
But definitely cool to see it in theater, and I think just kind of seeing that in that theater, it's a lot of true horror fans in there, and everybody pretty much knew what it was once it came on. Sure. So that was cool to kind of like see people's reactions and stuff. And then on Friday, the movie, which I'm very, very disappointed because once you purchase a ticket, it shows you the runtime. And I was kind of seeing some rumors and a lot of film stuff I follow and movie stuff I follow on Instagram. The runtime of the movie on Friday actually matched Halloween Kills.
No, you might have caught it early screening.
Yeah, and it was Halloween 2018. They had the exact same runtime, dude.
That's so funny.
I know, dude, but I was like, oh man, did I get an early screening for Halloween Kills? That would have been super dope.
That would have been hilarious.
That would have been insane.
Oh man, dude. I was like, dude, this is gonna be fucking
That would have been
dope,
so
man.
cool. What a cool thing AMC would have like done for like those fans.
For sure. But having it be Halloween 2018, still a good movie. That was cool. Once that kind of started up and everyone realized it was Halloween 2018, there was kind of like some people in there clapping and stuff. So yeah, cool. Really good vibe if you like horror movies kind of in that theater. It's in one of the really small theaters off to the side. It wasn't full, but it was close to being full.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's like all just like dedicated horror fans.
Exactly, man. So yeah, it was cool, man. Cool. So any Wednesdays or Fridays, if any listeners who are into that, 7 p.m. you can go there and you'll find something else. So curious what they'll have on there for this week, but we'll keep it moving.
I'll have to check that out.
Well, Blake also went to the theaters to see No Time to Die. Welcome, listeners, to the main review segment here at Back Row Banter. Nathaniel, if the listener here is new, or maybe they've just forgotten, can you give them a rundown of how our review segment works?
Well, I sure can, Adam. So the way the review segment works here at Back Row Banter is it is split up into two different sections. There's going to be the non-spoiler section, and then there's going to be the spoiler section. It's pretty self-explanatory. In the non-spoiler section, we're going to talk about the movie, go through its IMDb list, and IMDb page, kind of see who directed it, any big stars. Obviously, we're doing No Time to Die this week. You pretty much know what you're in for. We'll go around and each give our initial thoughts, and then we're going to have to decide, do we recommend this movie, yes or no? From then on, it's going to be the spoiler section. I'll play the spoiler section sound. It goes something like this. And then we'll be full on into spoilers. We'll go into our deeper thoughts, go into any big plot twists or anything like that. And don't worry if you don't want to be spoiled, and do come back, because I'll play the spoiler sound again. And then we'll see where it ranks upon our Entropy list, which is our big list of everything that we have watched on the podcast ranked. With that being said, Adam, tell me about No Time to Die.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is No Time to Die. Daniel Craig send-off as one Agent 007. This is a new movie released in 2021, supposed to be released April of 2020. What a journey it's been. It's finally here.
It is.
As the trailer states, and kind of plays into the fact that it's been delayed God knows how many times. I've lost count for sure. Rated PG-13 with a runtime of 2 hours and 43 minutes.
Yes,
Boy,
sir.
that is a lot of time to die.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Let's see here. Director, Cary Joji Fukunaga, who's done that's first season of True Detective.
Correct.
Few seasons, few other TV shows and stuff.
Maniac, I want to say, was his as well.
Yeah, Maniac.
Beasts of No Nation was his film for Netflix that got quite a few
Correct.
things. And then his original one, I want to say, was Sin Nombre, which I want to say is a Spanish language movie, if I'm not mistaken. That was pretty well reviewed. I have not seen it, but it is by all accounts very good.
I'll take your word for it. Written by, let's see if I can get the screenwriters.
Probably 15 people.
Yeah, there's a lot of writing credits, but Neil Purvis, Robert Wade, Cary Fukunaga, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Purvis and Wade have been on every single one of the Craig Bond films.
They're mostly Bond writers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it looks like it actually. Die Another Day is another Bond film, so yeah, they're Bond writers. Cool. And then Phoebe Waller-Bridge was an interesting one. She's more of an actress. She was in Solo. She's slated to be in the new Indiana Jones.
Her big thing is Fleabag and Killing Eve. Those are both her shows that she wrote, and I want to say directed Fleabag, which has gotten quite a few awards and everything now. But she's one of those. She's a great writer.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen her anything like that, and then I saw how many acting credits she had. But yes, she does have Fleabag and Killing Eve. But really, she's only done TV, so this is her first kind of movie credit. Let's see what else we got here. Oh wow, my IMDb page just closed. Let's get to the cast. We've got Daniel Craig, of course, Ana de Armas, who is in
Blade Runner 2049.
Blade Runner 2049, and the Rian Johnson film. I can't remember. Knives Out. Thank you. I was like, I just looked at the title of that movie, and
also featuring already Daniel Craig.
Yeah, he according to IMDb trivia, he campaigned for her to be in this after working with her on Knives Out.
Oh, cool. Okay. She's great. No, I liked her a lot, and I liked her character in this. Rami Malek, of course. Léa Seydoux. Lashana Lynch, who is in Captain Marvel, is like the main thing I recognize her from, but she has a few other acting credits as well. And then making a return in back-to-back weeks is Naomi Harris.
Ah, good point.
Playing Moneypenny. I don't recognize her in any of these roles. She looks so different in each one, but I mean, good for her. She's doing great. So she's back. You got Ralph Fiennes, of course, Ben Whishaw returning as Q, and then Jeffrey Wright coming back as Felix. Christoph Waltz, of course.
Ton of names.
I could keep going, but that's, I'd say, the biggest chunk of the cast listed off there for you. Great actors all the way through and through. The acting is definitely a highlight of this movie for me personally. Along with the directing, I should also say, along with the score, another Hans Zimmer score. Because the music in these movies is always incredible. So you kind of want to shout that out too. What are your thoughts here, guys? It's been 5 years. We decided before pod. Biggest gap between any two, or sorry, 6 years. Biggest gap between any of the Craig Bond films. Would have been 5 years, which is also the biggest gap. So like the COVID did not affect that, but still, it's been a while since Spectre. How you guys feeling?
Well, I would say just kind of before we jump into this, I know we said we're not the most knowledgeable of Bondology, quote unquote.
Hey, actually, Blake, I have to cut you off. I forgot the IMDb summary.
Oh my goodness!
I was like, I'm missing something.
Jump ahead. Yeah.
No, that's my fault. That's my fault, not yours. The IMDb summary reads as follows: James Bond has left active service. His peace is short-lived when Felix Leiter, an old friend from the CIA, turns up asking for help, leading Bond onto the trail of a mysterious villain armed with dangerous new technology. Good summary overall, I would say. It doesn't lead you in too much. I don't even know how much I have to fill in, really. I mean, Bond retires, living a great life in some kind of, tropical place.
Seems
cool
that way.
house. Not practical for hurricanes.
No.
or any kind of weather. And then he has a run-in with, like the summary said, his old colleague Felix, and kind of gets recruited for helping the CIA, and then later back maybe to MI6, and eventually he's basically chasing after this villain who is getting his hands on some life-threatening, world-ending technology. Right. So I don't want to add too much more on there. Obviously, a lot ensues in 2 hours and 43 minutes, so I can't really touch on all of that. But Blake, I'll toss it back to you. I'm sorry for having to interrupt you. What were you
yeah, no, all good, my man. So what I wanted to do is kind of just go around and just make sure like we're clear. Has all of us seen all 5 of the Craig Bond movies? I have not seen all 5.
Which one have you not seen?
The one right before
Spectre?
this, which is probably the one I should have 100% watched.
Yeah, they were pretty tight. Man.
Spoiler alert. But
okay.
Have you seen all 5?
I've seen all of them.
Ty?
All.
I've seen all of them, but I think I've only seen all of them like once. So
okay,
it's like hard for me to like remember the exact details of like the first 2, especially Skyfall and Spectre. I remember definitely a little bit better because they're more recent, of course. But
sure. Okay.
Yeah, I have seen all 5 now.
Gotcha. All right. I just kind of wanted to gauge where everyone's knowledge is at. But yeah, we can pick up from there. So what are we doing? Just the recommend, right? Recommend, don't recommend. How do we like it? Thumbs up, thumbs down.
For sure. And I guess initial thoughts. What was your feeling coming out of it?
I liked it.
Yeah, especially having not seen
Yeah,
Spectre.
Sure. Yeah, I wish I would have. I wish I could have seen Spectre before. I probably should have did some more research and tried to watch that. Whether it was a rent or whatever, but it was still pretty good. There's a few kind of things I missed out on, obviously,
sure.
as you guys know. But for the most part, was still able to kind of follow along and piece some things together. Great acting, good directing. I mean, as I said, it's long as hell for sure. But honestly, I was okay with that because it's the last Daniel Craig Bond movie. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of like, okay, this is cool. I'm part of the ride.
It does feel that way a little bit. Like everyone's kind of like, yeah, I'm okay with this because I want to spend as much time with him as possible and kind of enjoy this a little bit. I think it takes your time. Sure. It takes its time, but it's never like it doesn't feel long. At least for me, it didn't feel like it was dragging.
Right. For sure, definitely paced well. I think the cast is good. I was definitely surprised when they had Ana de Armas. Is that how you pronounce her last name? I'm sure I don't have a Spanish tone on that.
Close enough.
But yeah, she's awesome. So seeing her in there, I was like, oh, this is dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I immediately thought of Blade Runner 2049, Knives Out, and everything. It was the kind of last movies I've seen her in.
Sure.
She's also in that really terrible movie with Keanu Reeves.
Can't
think of the name.
I wanted to say
Hush. I'm sure somebody's seen it.
It's Knock Knock.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's called. But yeah, man, I like her character. Hopefully, we get more of her character in the next segment of Bond series, whoever the fuck is going to play 007. But I would hope she can kind of reprise her role. Yeah, cool. I'm satisfied, man. Easily, I can say. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think overall I enjoyed this as well. I think it's shot beautifully. I think the opening I really, really enjoyed as well. I think I was talking to Tyler about that today when we saw each other in person. There's a couple story things that I think are a little bit I kind of, didn't love. The Craig Bonds are always weird because like this is the Bonds where everything kind of does tie in together. A lot of times the Bond stories are pretty separate, even when it's the same actor. At least that's been my experience. Like I said, I'm not great on my Bond lore. But these ones all kind of work together for the most part. But then there's also things like he seems to retire every movie, or like he starts every movie in retirement in some way. So there's a few things that I think are just kind of like you have to deal with because they've kind of written themselves into a corner. But overall, yeah, I'm with you as well. Definitely recommend from me. Nice little send off.
I'm in, man. This was pretty classic. I think kind of like when Nathaniel and I were talking that none of these Bond movies are bad. I think if you've seen a couple of different Bond movies, you kind of know what to expect. But even the earlier ones, whoever Bond is for that extended amount of time, if you've seen like the first one and all those, you kind of know what you're getting into. But yeah, kind of like Nathaniel said, a couple of plot things that I didn't think mixed overall. But other than that, I was pretty much in from the start of this. I've been watching Bond for a really long time, and Daniel Craig kicks ass, so I'm down.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Ty. I don't know if there's necessarily a bad Bond film here out of the 5, but this one for me just felt like I've seen it before almost. Felt very similar to Spectre, and other pieces of it felt very similar to like Skyfall or even the other. Quantum of Solace and Casino Royale are the ones that I kind of hold a little bit higher just because they feel very unique and fresh, whereas like Skyfall, Spectre, and this one, to me, I'll feel like they share a lot of the same elements that are a little recycled.
That's interesting.
Overall, like, what did you say?
I said that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I was watching this movie feeling like I had seen it before almost, and obviously it's not exactly the same, but I feel like the overall story structure of it is pretty general for what you could expect in a Bond film. But I still liked it overall. I mean, like I said earlier, the acting is great all the way through. Directing was even better. Like, there's a lot of great shots and cinematography in this. Nathaniel, I agree with you. That opening sequence was really good as well. And so there's a lot of things I liked about this movie. Nothing I necessarily loved. But it was still good, and it was a good send off for sure. Still fun to watch Daniel Craig do his thing as Bond, and it's a nice little bow on a 5-part little series here. I can't wait to kind of watch these in succession because there's so much detail that gets added into all of these movies, and they're all so long that it's hard to remember every single detail. So I think now that this final one's out, I would love to go back once this comes available for like streaming or something like that. Go back and watch them all relatively close to one another so I can kind of get them as one complete story arc.
I see.
But that being said, overall, I would say I'm probably recommend, but just barely, because I don't love this movie.
Did you see this movie while you were sick?
No. So I saw this
Okay.
Friday afternoon.
Okay.
That would have been awful. That would have been terrible. No, so I was on antibiotics last week to get rid of the previous sickness I had, and I was feeling better and better every day throughout the week. And Friday was the day where I was like, all right, this is gonna be the last day of sickness. I can feel it's probably gonna be gone tomorrow. And I felt good all throughout the day. And then Friday night, this was after I'd seen the movie, so I went to the theater fine, sat through the movie fine. Friday night at like 8 o'clock, I got just dead tired for like no reason, almost like by the snap of a finger. I was like just super, super tired and like kind of felt the chills coming on. And that's when it hit me. So thankfully, I didn't have to watch this all that sick. I was still kind of coming up from the last sickness, but no, thank God I did not have to watch this 3-hour long movie, fucking dying in the theater. But yeah, I would say overall, I'm definitely I would say a recommend.
Fair enough.
Is that a recommend all around?
Full
I
recommend.
believe so.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, then we can go ahead and head into spoiler talk here. So if you've not seen No Time to Die and you do not want it spoiled for you, go ahead and check the episode description where you can find a timestamp to jump to, where you can find our ranking up upon the entropy list.
Hop upon.
Spoilers.
Shit goes down.
Shit goes down. Down.
Does it though?
Man,
It does.
does it though? It kind of does.
I mean, they blow up Bond, so
Blows
it
up,
fucking
yeah.
does.
Oh yeah, they got him. Man. Direct hit.
Yeah, how do you guys feel about
Like-
that? So they off Bond in the end of this. Like he's dead. 100%.
I think they had to do it to like make the audience believe that they weren't gonna make another one.
Okay,
Because
fair enough.
He dies so many times in these 5 movies. He retires so many times in these 5 movies. It's like, all right, you're gonna watch him blow the fuck up. There's no coming back from this one unless he's Palpatine.
I should have known because like Daniel Craig has like notoriously not enjoyed any of the lead up to Bonds for like all the interviews and stuff, and like he kind of always gets a little bit worn down by all the questioning and the publicity and stuff, and he's been very kind of like, yeah, I'm really excited for the to be done. It's very like Harrison Ford before Force Awakens when he just knew he was dying. He's like, yeah, I'm done with this. I never have to do it again. But yeah, overall, I don't love that they kill him off, but it makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. I didn't mind that. It's kind of a right way to send him off. And I think kind of as you're referencing where he seems in the press runs and everything's kind of glad to be done with this. I'm sure he's suffered a shit ton of injuries, like filming these.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure his body's just a wreck now.
Yeah. So just in 2020 hindsight, I'm sure that's why he's like, yeah, I'm glad I don't have to do that.
Yeah,
anymore,
I mean, I think he's in his mid 50s at this point too. Like that's gotta be.
He's got to be, man.
Yeah.
We were just talking Casino Royale 2006,
and he wasn't young when that came out. I mean, like he was young. He's a little bit older than us, but in Hollywood standards, he wasn't like a fresh face or anything like that.
Exactly. So yeah, that's cool. But yeah, man, I like it. How do you guys like the villain in this one?
I just want to say one more thing about the ending, really quick.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I do kind of wish Bond got a happy ending.
Yeah.
Especially his Bond. After everything he's been through, even in this movie alone, like he finally has someone he can, like, it's not just another Bond girl. Like he finally has someone he feels like he can trust.
Yeah.
He knows her secrets now, as we find out through the movie. And he has a daughter, basically.
You 100% does.
Yeah, so we can't just give him another little like coastal island place, or maybe they go back to the Winter Wonderland and from the beginning. I don't know. I was really hoping for that. I understand why they felt like they should kill him off, but he does all this stuff for God knows how many years. The character for his country, serving as a spy, and he can't, doesn't get a happy ending. It kind of sucks, but that's just me. That's what I was hoping for, but I don't always get what you want. So anyway, villain. Man, the villain was definitely the part where I was like, I feel like I've seen this before. This felt like a rehash of like a little bit of Christoph Waltz's villain almost. I feel like we had a similar scene in Spectre, or it might have been Skyfall. I think it was Spectre, where like Bond walks into the villain's chamber and it's just him and then like 2 or 3 other guards and like this blank empty chamber.
That's Skyfall.
Same thing happened. Skyfall. Okay.
Yeah.
same thing happens here. Like there's just so many pieces of this that it felt like I'd seen before, and the villain definitely felt like the same.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I think they nailed the start so well. Like with him, where that first shot where he appears in the window, and like it's just him in the mask. I was like, fuck, that is like some good old fashioned like home invasion horror. Stuff there at the start, and then like with the sliding glass door as well. I thought that was all really done. So that was very memorable for me, and I felt like that carried a little bit more. And I thought Rami Malek was pretty good in it. So I didn't. I was more upset with how they did Blofeld, which they had built so much in Spectre, and like was kind of this like huge organization thing. And you had Christoph Waltz in there too, and I felt like that just wasn't. That was one of the things that I felt like was missing from this a little bit, and they felt like they kind of wasted that character a little bit.
Yeah. That was pretty anticlimactic.
Yeah.
So you guys weren't pleased with his death.
I just like if it's me and I'm watching it as like a student of film or something, and I know that that's Daniel Craig and Christoph Waltz in a room together as a protagonist and antagonist, that scene needs to be absolutely scintillating. Like that, there should be so much tension in there, and like just based on their acting abilities alone. And I just didn't feel they nailed that scene, and I just know Cary Fukunaga can nail that. So that felt a little bit underwhelming to me, especially in a part where I felt like going into it, I was really looking forward to it. As soon as I saw that great bit with him coming forward in the
that was a really
kind
cool
of cell,
shot.
I thought that was awesome, and I felt a little underwhelmed by that overall. But Malik I thought was fine.
Yeah, I think him dying kind of kills that whole scene. I think there is some okay emotions that are happening in there, and
sure.
You do get some points of tension because obviously, he like chokes him, and you can see Daniel Craig's anger and his frustrations and how much he actually cares for Madeline and trying to figure this out. But yeah, it's I think because they kill him and he dies essentially easily, it's just kind of like, well, that kind of sucks.
I did like the threat of the virus that they had, where in like the relation, and like you were always kind of playing, oh shit, like that could get them next, or that could be him next, or something like that. I didn't love the fact that it was like a virus kind of thing. That was like, oh shit, this feels a little on the nose, but that might have been why it was so delayed in some areas too. But I thought that was a pretty clever kind of like ticking clock in the background that you had in there. And I just don't really enjoy magic blood as a plot point, or as we've kind of referred to a couple different times. So like, as Blake was saying, he has Casino Royale on in the background, and I turned it on here a little bit ago too. And that is another point for me, is just the chemistry between Daniel Craig and Léa Seydoux is just not even close to the chemistry between Daniel Craig and Eva Green in this one, and I feel like that's always kind of overshadowed this series a little bit. Anyone else with me on that?
I would have to like rewatch Casino Royale.
Okay.
Actual sound where I'm watching the movie rather than in the background. So
sure. Well, how about this? Do you feel like the chemistry between Daniel Craig and Léa Seydoux is there as much? Because
it always felt off for me.
Okay.
That I can agree with.
I think it's better in this one. It feels very off in Spectre, but I think it's better in this one.
Yeah, it's definitely better in this one than in Spectre. I felt like he had better chemistry with Ana de Armas than he did with Léa Seydoux.
Yeah, weird she doesn't come back. She's just in this for like 15 minutes.
Yeah. She's like, oh, my part here is done.
Yeah,
you know what I
like,
mean? And then
she
opens the door for him.
10 minutes.
And he leaves.
They're like, let's get the best looking woman we can find and put her in like
so pretty.
the slinkiest dress possible. Have her fight across the room and then just never bring her up again. James Bond, folks.
That's kind of what I harped on earlier. I'd be surprised if they don't bring that character back in the next
Maybe they make her the next Bond.
I think they're setting up.
They are setting up a female Bond.
I don't know that they are though. I think they've set themselves up. I think they've set themselves up so that if I was running Bond, in the way that they've kind of set themselves up now is I feel like they've got the Lashana Lynch character, who I believe her character's name is Nomi in the movie, as the 007. And so I think if like crowd reaction or audience reaction to her is very, very positive, you can spin that into like the 007 series and have her be like a modern spy and in the real world and like dealing with tech and all that kind of thing. And then I think you take the James Bond name and you go back to set it in the 60s for the next kind of like roll around of everything, the next cycle. And then that way you can kind of set that more into that like heyday of the Sean Connery, Roger Moore area where things are a little bit almost more goofy even and not quite as serious as this series has taken itself with it. I think that would be really fun, but that would be me.
So speaking of and I'm sorry I missed that. I have to go plug my laptop.
Oh, you're good.
Speaking of kind of having a woman Bond, how did you guys like the Lashana Lynch as 007?
I thought she was really cool.
Yeah, I like the kind of tension that they have between them and how they're kind of competing in the beginning of it, and I think it's cool how she kind of like follows him and like he can obviously know that he's being followed and like something's up, but then she tells him that she's 007 and he's like, wait, what?
Yeah, you can see he's offended for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, I think by the end of it, he obviously kind of shows his respects to her and kind of what she's capable of, which is pretty cool. So it's always, even though I agree, I don't think she will be the next like Bond, but it is kind of cool to still see a little bit of the passing of the torch there.
I think Felix Leiter in this is great too. Want to give a shout out to Jeffrey Wright. Great,
he's fucking great in everything, dude.
Yeah, that's true. But
like every time I see him in something new, I'm just like, I can't love you more.
Yeah. His line, I've got a bad feeling in my gut that Ash might not be on our team, just killed me in the film. I really liked that.
Yeah. And he's in I'm rewatching Casino Royale, and then he's in this too. So yeah, I mean, is he Inspector as well?
So he's not in it past Quantum. He's not in Skyfall or Spectre, which is funny because I thought he was. But
I also kind of remember him coming back too. But
yeah,
he's really great though. I enjoyed him a lot.
I love it. Right.
R.I.P.
And that's the kind of the cool thing about Bond is that sometimes you can bring those actors over. Like obviously, I think Judi Dench was M for the Pierce Brosnan series, and then was also M obviously for the start of the Daniel Craig stuff. So if they want to keep Felix in there, I'm totally fine with that. Bring him over for the next round too.
Yeah, and I just love these movies. I mean, if you're a car guy, I mean, I love how he always has a super nice Aston Martin.
A lot of Aston Martins in this one.
Yeah, man. In all these movies, he's driving one now. I think he's driving the DB9 and Casino Royale. But yeah, man, I love seeing that stuff. How did you guys like kind of like the pre-title screen? I guess that's the word I'm looking for.
The title sequence?
Yeah, how'd you guys like where do you guys rank that in terms of kind of action series where Casino Royale has like the crane one, right? This one looks like they're in, I don't know, were they in like Greece or
Italy.
something?
They're in Italy.
Italy, okay. Where do you guys kind of rank those now that we're just talking about?
I jogged my memory. How does this one start again? Because all I remember is the
it's ice and
Rami
then
Malek.
It's him driving with Leia, and they're in Italy.
Oh, that's right. And they got to get away.
To the grave site.
Yes, that's right.
Grave site blows up.
Yep.
Kicks off.
There was no part of me that was like, oh yeah, Leia Seydoux in on this at this point. Like that's obviously Blofeld, like that was doing that. But yeah, I enjoyed that. That was cool. Cool little sequence. Again, I feel like Fukunaga does tension and action pretty well. I think he's got a really good kind of sense for that overall. I really enjoyed the cinematography on this one. I really like the color grading. It kind of has that classic feel overall, like it's almost like a 60s, 70s film. And they really they kind of bring up the blue of his eyes, and they make that kind of a plot point in some ways too. And I thought they really kind of captured that well.
Definitely agree there. Cinematography was a highlight for me for sure.
Yeah, I think these are all shot in a particular way, and I think it's just the way that a James Bond film should be shot. And it's funny because you get your title sequence, and then you get your opening scene with like to kind of like lock you in, like we're taking off, like buckle up, and and then you kind of get into the thick of the story, which is why I think these are also the run times that they are. None of them are particularly short, but I think that's because there's a lot that needs to happen to build these out. But I like all these. I will always kind of, how everyone's like, who's your Batman, who's your Superman? I think Daniel Craig is my 007 and probably will be for a little bit.
For sure.
I thought some of the just like the production design too on this too was really cool. I really love that Japanese garden they had in the missile silo and everything. That was really neat.
Cool. Yeah,
very unique locations. You know where you are when you're there, and to kind of know two pieces of the film or no two settings of the film kind of feel alike, which is what you want.
Kind of a different area of the world too, that like Russian-Japan border that they were kind of talking about and everything. I thought that was kind of an interesting area to focus on as well.
Definitely pretty unique.
But for me,
go into that forest.
Yeah. That was a really good
foggy
shot.
shot is really
that
good,
was awesome.
where he's kind of just like taking everybody off.
Yeah, that was really, really cool.
Yeah, definitely, man.
And then he just basically drops that car on that guy.
Yeah. Dude, that whole because that's all a oneer, isn't it? It's all like him as a single shot and everything too. Yeah, that was a really, really a highlight for me. I'm glad you brought that up.
Shot.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
It really reminded me of that movie that Daniel Craig was in, where he's kind of, I think he's like a Jewish refuge or something like that. It's called Defiant or something.
Yeah, he's it's called Defiance.
Yeah, okay, Defiance. Cool.
That was a good movie.
It kind of took me back to that and kind of like where Daniel Craig comes from, and that was really cool too. It's a great scene. I like how the realism as far as like how the gunplay happens and stuff like that. I think the Bond films have particularly done that fairly well. And of course the gadgets, man. So cool.
Yeah.
The car scene where the Gatling guns just come out of the headlights.
Yeah.
Again, they show off the Jaguars and all the cool cars and the Aston Martins, and so that's obviously something pretty cool too to kind of see the heritage that's kind of just built into the Bond series. But the gadgets are always fun, and overall great Bond movie.
Love
I'm gonna be in.
Love the eye on a pillow as they walked around. That was great. And the show someone your watch, it blew his mind. That was a great Bond line.
That was a funny line too. I definitely caught that. That was funny.
Overall, I think ranking wise, I think this is probably maybe 3 for me. I think it's Casino Royale, Skyfall, No Time to Die.
I'm right with you.
Maybe then Quantum and Spectre. I don't really enjoy Spectre very much. And Quantum of Solace. I always remember being pretty disappointed in that one. But yeah, that's kind of my ranking.
I would have to rewatch them to rank them because I just don't remember them clearly.
You would have been real young for the first two though, too, wouldn't you? That's 08.
Yeah, I didn't. I rewatched Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace for Skyfall. I believe.
Okay.
Actually, I might have seen 1 or 2 of them before that, but I rewatched them for Skyfall, and that's the last time I've seen them. And I haven't seen Skyfall since theaters, I don't think, and I definitely haven't seen Spectre since theaters. So I definitely need to rewatch them. I would love to get my ranking. If I mean, off the top of my head, with what I remember of them,
sure,
I'll probably have to go Casino, Skyfall, Quantum, Spectre, and this are pretty tied for me. Maybe those could flip flop depending on the rewatch. So I would say that's probably like a rough outline of where I'd rank them right now.
Yeah. What are you ranking them, Ty?
I honestly couldn't give you a good kind of range for me. I haven't watched a lot of the earlier ones in quite some time, so I really have to go back to even figure out everything. But I will tell you, when they inevitably come out with the box set of these, I will I'll probably end up picking them up just to have something. So but yeah, it's good. They're all good. I'm in. But if you guys, who would your next Bond be?
Ooh, this is a good one.
Oh,
I think the names that people have been kicking around for a few years, you're like your Hiddlestons, your Idris Elbas, your Tom Hardys, your Cumberbatch. I think they're all a little too old now, to be honest with you. I would want.
That's the hard part. Idris Elba was probably one of my favorite picks, but
he
I really
would have been so good, man.
I couldn't. But you're right. He's at that age now where he'd probably be a little.
I mean, if they wanted to do like a Dalton where they just did like 2 of them, I'd be okay with that or something like that, or like do something crazy and like give one to like a Tarantino. And like let him do a one-off, but I think that might be kind of cool.
What about Tom Hardy?
Hardy's good, man, but like I think he's too crazy.
I don't know if I want. Yeah, I don't know if I want.
He doesn't. He doesn't have like the
that,
gentleman part of that.
I think he can.
That, but I think he's a good enough actor where he could play that.
Pattinson's another one.
Yeah, for sure. He's a great actor.
Pattinson's another one. I think he would kill it. Obviously, he's almost too obvious though.
That's the easy answer right now.
Yeah.
Is Pattinson.
The kid that's in 1917, I was thinking about him the other day. I thought he might be pretty good. The main guy that's in that.
I haven't seen that.
He's very young though.
I mean, but like there's not any younger than like Tom Holland, I don't think, or something like that. He's one that people have thrown out too.
I think Bond needs to be minimum 25. I don't think he can look like a kid.
Well, what
if
about
Tom Holland's playing a teenager,
I don't want to see Tom Holland.
I also don't want to see him play.
All right, fair enough.
Please don't.
I mean, yeah, he's not my pick either. I mean, just to be clear, but he's another name I feel like people have been throwing out there. Yeah. I mean, you could do the kid that's in Kingsman, Taron Egerton. I mean, he's obviously got the chops there, but a little too close to the bone, maybe.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. There's not like a ton of like younger actors. Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah, is he British? Fully?
Yeah. He's not British, but does he have to be? I mean, he could probably do an accent. He's done one for Little Women, and
I think they'd want. I think they'd want Bond to be British.
They probably do, yeah.
There's another guy, Jack O'Connell. Yeah, Jack O'Connell. I think he would be a really, really great follow-up for Daniel Craig too. He was in Unbroken. I know him from Skins and a couple other TV shows as well. But he's really, really good. I think he'd be a great.
I like to see like a.
Yeah,
Cillian Murphy.
He's another one of those guys. I think he's aged out at this point, but he would also be good. I think too.
I was gonna say like Kit Harington.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Or Richard Madden.
Rob Stark. Yeah.
Henry Cavill's another one. He's almost built for it too. Or
sure.
Yeah.
Would be a good one.
What about
that? Would be the best answer I've heard so far.
Or what about Daniel Kaluuya too? I think he could clean up and kill it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are options out there for sure.
If Dev Patel puts on like 30 more pounds of muscle, that'd be cool.
He'd be a good one too. I'd be down for that.
Yeah, I'd be very down for that. Good options. I think they have to be on a little bit of a younger end, but not too young. So I think our Pats is up there for me, and those last few that we just listed for sure.
Yeah, I think those are a couple good choices there. I think, I'd like to see one of those guys.
How do you guys?
Sorry,
feel
I'm just spinning.
This might be a one-off. How do you guys feel about Barry Keoghan? So that's the guy who's he plays in Dunkirk. He plays in The Killing of Sacred Deer.
He's great.
Plays in Green Knight.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind him.
I actually like him. Those are all small roles I've seen him in.
Maybe not as classically handsome as you would think Bond is being, but like
I think that's the thing though. Yeah.
But I would still be in on. He's awesome in most things I've seen. He's going to be in The Eternals too. I want to say.
And I think he's in The Last Duel.
Oh, is he? Okay.
I think so.
I'd be in on that too.
I could be wrong.
I know he's in Green Knight. We saw him in that for like a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I saw him have some stuff in The Last Duel. But yeah, that's just kind of somebody who popped up, and I was like, let me get this guy's name.
Yeah, that's a good call too.
Yeah.
Is Andrew Garfield British?
No, pretty sure he's American. He might be dual. He's older though too. He was 28 when they were doing Spider-Man.
Yeah. Really? And that's like what 2013 or something?
Yeah, 2000. Yeah, somewhere in there.
He's an American British actor. God damn it.
Maybe they'll go back to the roots. Maybe they'll get
a good one.
Maybe they'll get a Scottish guy. Someone we don't know.
Maybe they'll give it to Tormund.
There you go.
Name. Yeah. That'd be fun. All right, well, let's head on out of spoilers here then if we don't have too much more to say here. So welcome back, listeners who skipped over the spoiler segment of the podcast. We're going to go ahead and rank No Time to Die up upon the Entropy list. For those of you who do not know, the Entropy list is Back Row Banter's official list of every movie we have reviewed, regardless of regardless of genre, regardless of anything else, all on one fantastic list. This is essentially how we rate our movies, rather than do it out of 5 stars, out of 10, whatever it is. We go ahead and rank all of our movies to comparing them to one another. If you'd like to reference the Entropy list for yourself, you can do so by checking the episode description, where it is linked to my Letterboxd. That was not my best spiel there, but it's been a long day.
True.
I'm not feeling the best, so cut me some slack on that one, listeners. Let's see. No Time to Die. I think closest thing we have to compare it to here might be Tenet.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was looking, actually.
Yeah.
I think I got a spot for it.
Shoot.
I think I'm going to go 46, directly below Blind Spotting, directly above Army of the Dead, though I am willing to move that around if you guys are thinking that it's higher. I just saw Tenet, and then I saw The Descent, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. I don't think it's...
You think Tenet is better than this movie?
Barely. Just going off the... But then I also like. Am I off base here, guys? Because I see The Rock at 40, and then I was thinking Tenet as well, and then once I was deciding on Tenet, I got distracted by The Descent and Blind Spotting because I don't think this is as good as those ones. But those might just be throwing me off a little bit.
Yeah,
You know what?
I
You
think
said
I like
46?
Tenet more than this, though. To be honest with you.
Okay,
You said 46?
that's where I've got it tentatively at him.
I agree with you.
Okay,
I think
Looking
that's a
back
good
at this
spot,
list.
though.
You said that as I was still adding the movie to the actual list here, but
sure.
yeah, I mean, Blind Spotting I enjoyed a lot, of course, as the listeners who were listening back then know. Descent, I enjoyed personally. I know Blake's got a higher. Tenet.
I mean, I don't know, fellas.
It's hard.
We got
It's
Black
hard.
Widow at 39. You're telling me this movie's not better than Black Widow?
Yeah, that's like my thought. I was
Okay.
gonna put this probably in like the 37, 38 range at least.
I was
because-
kind of with you.
Yeah,
Okay, like I said, I can be convinced on that actually. So I want to hear your thoughts.
I really like Die Hard and Conjuring 2, but the lineage that this movie has, and this is still not even close to a bad movie.
Right.
I think this has to be somewhere in the 37, 38 range.
Yeah. I think I'm rolling with Ty. I can't put it below Black Widow.
No.
And I know some of these movies we have personal opinions on, right?
No,
they
that's
kind
cool.
of fluctuate up and down.
Yeah, no, that's what this is for.
Yeah, I think I'm rocking. I'll go 39. I'll go one below Die Hard. I don't know if I can put it over Die Hard for an action movie.
That's the one that I was
That's
kind of going
classic.
against too.
Mhm.
Yeah, like Die Hard's tough against it, isn't it?
Yeah.
I forgot about this scene in Casino Royale, and I'm gonna throw up.
Which one?
Has it got a big
When they cut
rope?
the bottom of the chair out.
Oh yeah, I just got past that.
Classic. Who needs
Sorry.
fancy torture?
Yeah, I'm totally okay with putting it at 39.
You know what? You've convinced me. I'll go with 39.
Adam, what are you thinking? You still on?
I'm cool with-
Where
I'm
we at?
cool with
46.
No, you guys convinced me. I'm cool with 39. We can go with that.
Okay.
39
Yeah,
it
I'm
is.
39 it is. I think that's might be back-to-back weeks with unanimous voting, where we all kind of got to agree. So that's fun.
Yeah, we're starting to fill the list out, so now everybody kind of understands
Yeah.
where certain films are and where they are in their entirety. So yeah, I think that's a good spot for this one. Excited for next week though, fellas.
Yeah, let's get to that. So, No Time to Die slotted in 39, below Die Hard and above Black Widow. Next week's review, it's here. another one we've been waiting for, another one that was delayed quite a bit. Halloween Kills, the sequel to Halloween 2018, and I guess the sequel to the original Halloween, if you
True.
kind of want to be sequential about it. But yeah, that's coming, I believe, exclusively to theaters this weekend, this Friday.
And Peacock.
Is it coming to Peacock?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. We did a news story on that. Silly me. Should I? I don't know.
We'll
Who has
forgive you.
Peacock?
I don't
Who has
know.
Peacock? I don't know a single person.
Actually, I don't know, dude. I get fucking emails from them like every day, and I was like, I
Blake
didn't even know I
secretly
had
has it.
So I'm gonna have to look into that and see if I do.
One.
I'll probably go see this in theaters anyways.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
was
think so
planning
too.
to see it in theaters.
Leah's not gonna watch this with me anyway, so it's a good opportunity to go see it in theaters loud as fuck.
Get your coffee.
Definitely theater.
How did you guys watch this, by the way?
Theaters. It was only in theaters.
theaters?
Yeah, I know, but did you? I went to Dolby Atmos. So
Yeah, I think the Dolby actually was really good on this, if I remember correctly. There was a couple bits where I was like, "Oh, that's got using a lot of the rears and like the traveling technology."
So the Regal I recently discovered does have like an IMAX kind of thing. They call it RPX, Regal Premium Experience, I think.
Yeah, I've
So I
been
might
one of
start
those.
trying that. The tickets are more expensive, so I don't know for sure. But I just watched it in the regular theater. But even I noticed the better audio. Like when they were in the bar, in like I think they were in Cuba. There was like some party noises and stuff coming from like the lefts and the rights, and I was sitting towards the back, so I could tell. But yeah, it's still, gotta love the movie experience. This is definitely one to see in theaters. Wish I had like the Dolby Atmos theater because I prefer that over the IMAX. I'll have to try RPX out one of these days and see how worth it is. But yeah, just a regular theater for me.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, man, I'm excited. I'll definitely do Halloween Kills in theater for sure. So yeah, that should be good. Pleasant surprise if you guys want to try to rewatch 2018. That was cool. As I said, I caught that Friday, but at least to kind of like get eyes on because it literally rolls immediately after that movie.
Sure.
The ending credit of 2018 is them hopping in the guy's truck and driving off in the back.
Yeah.
And the beginning of Kills from the trailers, obviously, them in the back of the truck with the fire department driving by. So, pretty cool. So I definitely
that'll be different because typically in Halloween we get some sort of cold open to start it. So I wonder if they'll continue that or if they'll go straight in.
just throw you right
Halloween
into the shit.
2018 is
I hope they
currently
throw us right
streaming-
in, man.
It's currently streaming on Fuba for anybody who wants to go watch that,
Fair enough.
and to rent on your usual services. So, all right, so go watch Halloween Kills for next week's review. Get in that Halloween mood. Nathaniel, any 5-star reviews?
No 5 stars reviews, though our most recent one is still from Marcella, who we actually celebrated her wedding this past weekend. So shout out
Hey, congrats.
Shout out the newlyweds.
for the third time.
Again.
yeah. But yeah, that was a really good one. But if you are curious how you could get your pod or your review, I guess I should say, read out on the podcast, put it up there, rate us in app 5 stars, and we'll read it out.
Cool. Share the podcast as well. Share with a friend, a family member,
A spy
fellow
colleague.
spy,
Yeah.
and all of his contacts and anyone he's hunting down. All of that. You could also follow the podcast. You could do so on Twitter at Banter Row, on Instagram at Back Row Banter Pod, and on YouTube it's just Back Row Banter. And then our email for any questions, comments, concerns, or grievances, anything of that nature. It's going to be backrowbanterpod@gmail.com. BlakeHolder, where can the people find you at, my man?
Letterboxd, BlakeHolder. I'll be on there logging some stuff. I'll probably certainly put some thoughts up for Halloween Kills. That's one I'm heavily anticipating. So that'll be cool. Kind of heads up for everybody on that. This actually isn't the final of this. There's still a Halloween Ends. I think that's slated for 2024 or something like that. It might have been pushed back a year now due to the pushback of Halloween Kills. But just kind of heads up on everybody for that. This will not be the end of the trilogy, or I guess what's the word for
Quadrilogy.
Quadrilogy.
Quartet. Cool.
Quartet?
Squadron.
There you go.
There we go. But yeah, that's where you can find me. Letterboxd BlakeHolder. I'll be on there along with some stuff. So we'll pass it along to let's go to Ty today.
Hey, you can find me sometimes on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/ultrabajo87 and Instagram, Letterboxd, and Twitter are all Tyler Vidalis, Vidales. Adam.
Find me on Twitter at Aish24 and on Letterboxd. It's just Aish. That's AYYSH. Nathaniel.
Twitter and Letterboxd at NS Gingrich and on Instagram at NathanielG92.
Cool. Well, I think that's it for episode 74. Thank you all for listening, especially if you got this far. We appreciate you. Join us next week for a review of Halloween Kills. We'll be RB.
Everyone out there, remember, be excellent to each other, and we will be RB.
Comment, like, subscribe, help us grow. That's what we want to do, and we appreciate anything that you can do to help us do so. And we appreciate you just stopping by and listening. So, yeah, be good to each other. You never know where someone's at on their journey, and we will be RB.
Thanks for listening. Please share, whatever you got to do. Spread the word to a family, friend, neighbor, foe, companion, partner, whatever it is. We always appreciate it. Nonetheless, stay positive. As long as you do at least one thing you love a day, that means you're living the right way. We'll be RB.
America. Ready for another lesson.
Wow, that's a movie that just I haven't thought of in a long time. You ever seen Silent House, Nathaniel?
I have. I watched that in college.
Yeah, it's under this list of that you can miss in movies. That's a movie I haven't seen in forever.
I remember
that's
it being okay.
What's her name?
Caitlin Olsen, isn't it? Or Elizabeth Olsen.
I was like, I know it's one of the Olsen sisters.
Yeah. You know what? That movie came out right at the time of The House at the End of the Street, too, with
There's
Jennifer
another
Lawrence.
movie that's this exact movie, and they came out at the exact same time. And this is like maybe my sophomore year of high school. Or
they're
something.
not like.
Does it give me the release date on this? Let me see.
No, that was freshman year. Yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, I definitely would have been in
your high school.
Yeah, I definitely would have been like a freshman, sophomore in college. I remember watching both of those. I think Silent House is maybe the better movie out of those two, to be honest with you. That's the one that makes it look like it's one shot. But
yeah, with all the cameras.
Yeah.
Right?
But then I remember
the movie you're talking about is the one with Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it's like that's the exact same movie, the exact same trailer.
Like and they're like they even have the same color grading too. Like they're both that weird yellowy kind of color.
That's funny, dude. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
You guys remember Monster House?
I do remember that.
I love that movie, dude.
Saw that in theaters.
I haven't seen that in such a long time. I had the game.
I remember I just remember watching that movie and be like, "Whoa, fuck that! They actually have like a dead body in there. This is like dark."
Yeah,
I haven't seen the movie in a really, really long time.
Such a long time.
That guy actually murdered his wife or whatever.
Years.